Welcome back to Dragon Ball Super Anime Review Episode 2. This one reviewing the Golden Frieza arc. Yep, an arc that lasted for 13 episodes, it covered episodes 15 through 27, even though Frieza himself doesn't show up to end of episode 18. Yeah, the first few episodes are just basically dealing with some of the aftermath stuff. And some stuff basically that would help set up not only the rest stuff happen in this arc, but also the next arc as well. Like before they even have Frieza even show up, they have some really odd things happen. Well, they have the second episode of this particular arc, they had the birth of Pan. Scratch it. Before I get to that, the first episode of this arc is Vegeta begging Whis to train him. Yep. And he sort of bribed him to allow him to train him by cooking him instant ramen. Something he apparently has never tried before. Nope. Never tried that before. Yeah, but then eventually, he gets a chance to actually try to train with him. Yes, that's... Yeah. And also the first episode is sort of... Well, kind of an odd episode. Just everyone going back to normal aside from the whole Whis training Vegeta thing. And, like, trying to do like a farm, and one point Goku punches Krillin because Krillin asked him to. Then eventually Krillin's smoking hot wife, 18, shows up and treats his wound. And he's like, and of course Krillin doesn't hold anything against Goku for doing it. He asked him to do this, just that's how strong he's become. And they sort of give like a little black around the eye, and of course a swollen cheek. And he doesn't hate Goku for doing that because he asked to do that. And of course 18 is a little upset with him, but she can go over it. And of course, one thing I appreciate about this arc is that they even show stock footage from Dragon Ball. Yes, some stuff happened during the second official arc of that anime, the World Tournament arc. The arc that introduced Krillin, and of course the whole him riding around this tractor to Great Link because he rode radishes. Yep. So he does the first couple episodes, and eventually after Pan is born, and of course after they... Yeah, and of course after that, Goku sort of begs Whis to take him, and doesn't take a bribe. It's like, Whis says, sure, but after I eat lunch with Bulma. I should point out though, there's an outfit Bulma she wears in this arc, and she wears in the following arc as well. It's this white top, red ascot, blue jeans, and sneakers. She wears this for 2 straight arcs, and because it gives more of an adventurous thing to her. But starting with I think it's with the Universe 6 point, she actually sort of dresses up as a scientist, and she wears this out for pretty much the rest of the series. Yep. I mean, despite the fact she's older, she even jokes when Goku goes away. It's like, let's plan my next birthday. Let's redo my birthday party. He goes, well, Beerus ruined the last one. And then when they get there, they see that apparently 6 months. Apparently, by the time Pan is born, apparently 6 months have passed by. So, yeah, Vegeta's been training with him. We're training on Beerus' home planet, which is just an upside down pyramid. Yeah, this world for like 6 months, and training includes stuff like doing chores, which involves cutting grass with kind of like the stuff you use for the corn. You use to cut corn with this long pike thing, so it's a shorter thing. Cuts grass with it. They also change Beerus' sheets, which the only way to do that is have him float. And of course, Vegeta does it quickly. And he's even asked, what's the point of the snake statue? He says he has no idea. And he asks about the hourglasses. Those are his alarm clocks. Don't touch them, they'll explode. One point, they do look like they're going to explode, so Goku uses engine transmission to take it outside. Of course, it does blow up in Whis' face, but Whis does credit him for being very creative and keeping Beerus asleep. Eventually, Beerus himself does wake up. And of course, they do lots of training. There was even this one really funny thing where at one point, Beerus is eating pizza. Yeah, Beerus is eating pizza. It's so funny. And this is, of course, around before I get to Frieza. Yeah, well, they're trying to contact Frieza, gets the whole thing with Frieza. And of course, Goku and Vegeta are in this dimension, which is similar to the hyperbolic space-time room in Kami's Lookout. So yeah, they train them for, and apparently they got hungry, so they ate some pizza. And of course, when Whis brings up the pizza, apparently Beerus does a fit because they ate all the pizza. It is by far so funny. Yeah, but it's the most hilarious thing to happen in the entire arc was him getting upset over eating pizza. Yep. At the end of the 4th episode, this is kind of the official start of the arc because it's like first 2 episodes. Okay, let's do like a few standalone episodes, spreading more of the series, and the arc kind of ends with seeing Sorba for the first time. I don't know if this character's name at the Christmas is a bot. It's a similar name, and he's flying in one of the Frieza ships, and then Champa comes by. Yep, this is actually Champa's first appearance. Him and Balas, his angel. Yes. And all she is just a female version. She's like exactly like Whis, except if Whis was a woman. And it is confirmed later that she is in fact Whis' sister, his older sister. Now how much older, I have no idea. Yeah, then eventually, once you get the whole point of the Resurrection F, from that point forward, not much change. It's very similar to how they actually, progress. They even make one change throughout the whole thing. The first big change they make is how Goku gets to Beerus' place. In the movie, it says somehow Whis gave him the sort of info to sort of use instant transmission to get there. Excuse me. I'm sure the anime is like, yeah, that's stupid. Why have him hitch a right on Whis back to place? So that's basically how he got there. Yeah, where you see him in the film, he's basically been there for quite some time. In the show, they actually show how he got there, which I do appreciate the show doing that. And then, of course, when they get the Resurrected Frieza, it's pretty much the same exact scene from the film. And also, I also forgot to mention, there was a couple things we got to mention in the last episode when it comes to the arc to introduce Beerus. One, they cut out the line when Beerus is informed about Majin Buu's death. And that's one thing that they did change. Also forgot to mention, Goku did get a chance to bite Beerus' tail. Yeah, but no one talks about that. We'll talk about the whole biting tail thing in this one. Yeah, but then of course Frieza is resurrected, and I'm sure from I can tell Frieza is very and I guess from a fan perspective, it's nice to see Frieza in his first form again, because this is probably the first time since the arc which he died, where you actually see him in his first form. And somehow, when you see him later on, after he was training, he somehow got his floating chair again. As for where the heck he got that, because last I thought of it, it was destroyed with the planet Namek. Did somehow they build him a new chair, or did they have these chairs in all the Frieza ships just lying in storage? Yeah, they never explain how he gets his chair back. But it's always nice to see Frieza in his chair, which is kind of like his throne anyways. And there's this one character, the only change they do make in here, which involves this sparring partner of Frieza's. This is actually very original to the thing. My guess is this was probably Toriyama's idea to do, because he actually kind of forgot about the Captain Ginyu frog. So he brought this character back and swapped eyes with basically Frieza's sparring partner, swaps bodies, and does this ridiculous pose. He fights Gohan briefly, and then of course the whole thing of him transforming into Ginyu. And yeah, it's something though to see another character from those the Frieza saga, aside from Frieza himself. He's probably the only character to come back from that arc. Yeah, and surprisingly, he was the only one still left alive. Of all the villains, they mentioned Zorbot, not Zorbot, Zarbo, I think his name is. Yeah, the green skin guy. Yeah, they mentioned him. They don't mention Deboria. No, there's no reference to him at all. You do see him in a flashback, mainly just stock footage, and they even show in stock footage of how Gain became a frog, in case some people forgot. In case some people didn't watch the Dragon Ball Z anime, you do get a chance to see some actual stock footage. As a matter of fact, this arc uses, I would say, about a good 20 to 30% of this arc is full of stock footage. Not from the particular Resurrection of film, but from DBZ. Yep. And then mostly it portrays pretty much most the same, except they do make, there is another change. They cut out the scene in here that was actually in the film, where Krillin draws in a bunch of Frieza's troops to this one island, which is like kind of like a maze, and then Krillin just blows the thing up. Yeah, for some reason they cut that out. I don't know why they removed that scene, because they briefly have a fight with Krillin, and the fight just ends. And let's see what else. Yeah, also, this is the arc that introduces Jocko to the series, voiced by Todd Heppercorn. I did not know this was him at all. Not until I saw the picture on his table at Comic-Con. That's why I found out he was him. And I gotta say, he is so funny. I love Jocko. After this arc, he appears in the next arc for about the first part of it, and then he disappears, never to be seen again. He actually does not show up until a two-parter much later in the series. It's not until the Great Saiyaman two-parter, which I gotta look it up here. I know he returns for that. Let's see. Yeah, I know he for that, and that's it. That's all he returns for. Let's see if I can find it here. It is yeah, because I know he returns for a quick little two-parter, and that's it. After, Universe 6 comes about. I'm trying to find it here, because I know it was a quick little two-parter when he does return. I'm looking it up right now. Let's see. Okay, yeah, he does return for a couple episodes, kind of toward the end of the Saga of Future Trunks. Yeah, he returns for that, and then after that, Jocko himself is never seen again in the series, so he appears roughly a couple more times. And I have all the comments they make about him, the fact his face, they think it's a mask. Nope, it's actually the actual face. The purple suit is actually skin. And they even comment about his appearance, of how he looks very similar to Frieza. Heck, they even take out one of his, look like his ears. It's actually his communication device, which is actually quite nice. Yep, I love the fact Todd Hippocorn takes time to actually explain that stuff. And he sees Trunks and he's like, I'm looking for Bulma. Do you know where she is? And he's like, you want to speak to my mom? And he's like, are you Bulma's son? Yep. Yep. Well, obviously that giveaway is the blue hair, because he gets that from his mom. Clearly can't get that from his dad, because his dad has got black hair. Yeah, they make a comment about black hair later on. Yep. And of course, he's there just to inform of Frieza's arrival. And then he's like, yeah, I did my job, I'm leaving. And of course, Bulma half the time beats the crap out of him for, staying. It's sort of an abusive friendship that they have, but yeah, it's so funny. And eventually, when Frieza does show up, he says, why don't you fight? It's like, I'll take on the weaker ones. And yeah, despite that being the super elite and the protector of this sector, he's a terrible fighter. He's a very weak fighter. He's a not bad fighter. He does take one of the goons, but that's really it. There's even this brief thing when his spaceship gets caught on fire, and he has lucky enough, he has a fire suppressant system on board his ship. Yeah. I gotta say, that's actually a brilliant stroke of genius for the Galactic Patrol to have this in their spaceships. A fire suppression system. Why not? The cockpit's probably catch on fire anyways, so why not have one? this is nothing unusual. A lot of spaceships in sci-fi generally do have these. As a matter of fact, Star Trek has had these in every single series, a fire extinguisher system, or at least having a fire extinguisher on board. Yeah, I don't think Star Wars has ever been shown having one. No, they have seen it once in one of the films, but yeah, this is nothing unusual. And as for their spaceship, their patrol car, as it were, it's a very weird looking ship with a circular cockpit. And it looks like you have a ton of room in this thing, even though there's not much room in the spaceship at all. I'm like, I kind of get the reason why this is a one-passenger car, because it looks big. It's probably for the engine. That's probably the reason why the ship is the way it's sized, because it's about to become a tiny cockpit. Yep. And of course, it takes a while to contact Vegeta and Goku when Frieza shows up. And at one point, Piccolo gets killed by Frieza while saving Gohan. Of course, Gohan gets severely injured anyways. And mostly put from that point forward, like with the exception of Captain Ginyu, from pretty much when Goku shows up, it's mostly the same. There's really not much change. I do love the line that when Frieza shows up, when he's informed about Majin Buu's death, he says, this is what he said, Daddy always told me never to fight two particular people, Beerus and Majin Buu. When he heard about Majin, because one thing I gotta do praise about this strategist who apparently has taken over Frieza's forces, the fact he's kept update with Goku. Yeah, the fact he's kept update with Goku's progress, what he was up to since Frieza's death. Which even Frieza probably seems impressed by that information. Like, hear about Majin Buu, at least they kept that in. But I don't know why they cut out the whole thing of Beerus finding out Majin Buu, because he found out in the Battle of Gods film. And he also found out about Frieza's death in the film. In the show, they don't bring it up at all about how if he knows about. I think he does kind of know about Frieza's death, but he does not know about Majin Buu's death. Yep. And mostly, but for the rest of the saga, it's mostly the same. There's not really much change. Of course, Vegeta kills Captain Ginyu, which is not a big surprise anyways, because he practically has massacred like all of Frieza's subordinates. He killed Zordon, Doboria, and the entire Ginyu force. The entire thing. Killed all 5 members now. Yeah, it'd be unknown if he actually unites with his own body. Especially since I think his body was actually his last known body that Ginyu had. I believe that was I think that may have been destroyed when Namek was destroyed. It's unknown if it was still there or not. Yeah, they don't say. Yeah, but this was actually a pretty good saga. Some of the changes they made did make sense. Oh, also I forgot to mention there's a couple things. I was really hoping Goku would bite Frieza's tail like he did in the original Frieza saga. He does in a different spot, because here he bites like toward the top. That's where he bites him. In the original saga, he bit him like kind of like almost midway through the tail. That's pretty much where you bite him. But yeah, I was really hoping he was gonna bite his tail, and he does. Yep. Though he had the way to his golden Frieza form. Oh, and his reaction to seeing Beerus is different. Even though he's shocked to see him, but he's basically standing on the ground. He's in the movie. He was in the air, striking a very weird pose. Like, Lord Beerus. He's like so shocked. His eyes are gouging. Like, what are you doing here? And both in the show and the movie, he's like, I'm here enjoying this Sunday. I'm drinking about this, and I want to mistake your bow dust for sprinkles. I thought that was so funny. The fact that the only reason why he came was because of this Sunday Boma made for Whis. That is so funny. And it's also real that Whis has been coming to Earth many times. And eventually, after Frieza's... Well, I would say this is probably the 3rd time Frieza's died. Yep. Everybody just had a big feast, and it's a great little ending. And also sets us up later with Gohan training with Piccolo again. Yeah, the whole point of this is actually set up the final arc of the anime. Yeah, because even though there's a tournament, there's actually the next arc is an actual tournament, because why not? It's Dragon Ball, so why not have themselves a tournament after fighting 2 really big fighters? And yeah, that sets that up, the Universe 6 saga, which I'm looking forward to reviewing that. And yeah, fantastic. Yeah, the changes they made were fine. Though I thought it would have been so hilarious if they kept in Frieza's ridiculous pose he did when he first saw Beerus. In the show, he's like staying on the ground. He's looking around like he's all Goku's friends, and then he sees Beerus eating a sundae. It's so funny. He's like, Beerus. He's like so surprised to see him, and he properly, he's like, you forgot to say Lord. Yeah, I thought that was so funny. The fact that he had that reaction seeing the Beerus, because it seems like everybody has a reaction to seeing Beerus. Everyone's like scared stiff. First it was Shenron, and now it's freaking Frieza, one of the biggest villains of the franchise, and he's scared of Beerus. And he also, are you here to interrupt my vengeance? He's like, nope, I'm not here to interrupt your vengeance. I'm here to enjoy this nice, delicious sundae. And they talk about what all this fighting is going on. They're talking about how delicious this sundae is, and they talk about how delicious these they don't say it's strawberries, even though they technically are strawberries. They don't ask Bulma what they are, but it is so funny. Yeah, Beerus is probably by far, even though he's here as a supporting role, he's like a comic relief, because that essentially put what his job is here to be so funny. Yep. Yeah, I'm trying to think. There was anything else? No, nothing I can think of. No, most of it was really good. Like I said. All right, so that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned for my reviews of One Piece, Boruto, JoJo's Adventures, and news chapter for Hunter manga. Okay, those videos are coming soon today. Okay, but to see you next video. Bye.